Hello fellow human, welcome back to another Dank Doggo / Entitled Parents videos. Is your family strict with ridiculous rules, or they just let you mind your own things? The first story is posted by you / taken by me 12. Entitled Mom thinks her family's rules apply to everyone. Last week I was traveling for work. It had been a long 2 days of meetings and I was exhausted. I had just arrived at the airport for my evening cross-country flight home. When I got the dreaded text from the airline saying that my flight was delayed for 2 hours due to mechanical problems, I decided to pass the time by getting something to eat. I found an airport restaurant and sat down to order. I ordered my food and pulled out my phone out of the bag to catch up on email and browse the web while waiting for my food to arrive. While I was waiting, a family with mom, dad, little girl about 5 years old, and a middle school age looking boy sat at a table near me. I didn't pay them much attention as I was looking at email on my phone. But then I hear this little girl exclaim in a rather loud voice, "Look, mommy, that lady's on her phone at the table." I then hear the mother reply, "Yes, she shouldn't be doing that. It is rude to have phone at a table." I glance over and the mother says to me, "We have a rule that no phones are allowed at the table." My first reaction was to say something snarky, as exhaustion was definitely getting the better of me. But then I thought better of it and decided to be polite. I looked at the little girl and said, "But since I'm here alone, I'm not being rude to anyone by looking at my phone now." At this point, the son looked like he wants to crawl under a table from embarrassment, and the dad is trying to hand the mom a menu and says, "It's okay, let's just order." I think that will be the end of it, but no. The mom says, "Obviously, you have a family, so you know how important it is to follow the rules. I would appreciate it if you could put away your phone," in a tone that a parent would use on a petulant teen. The little girl chimes in and says, "Yeah, you have to put your phone away. My brother can't have his phone at the table, so you can't either." I look at the little girl and say it as sweet a tone as I can muster. "Well, the great thing about being a grown-up is that I can do whatever I want. So now, I'm going to keep looking at my phone." And then turn back to my email. The mother signs loudly, and the teen looks even more embarrassed. The dad again tries to get the mom to just order and leave me alone. The mom calls the waiter over and asks to be reseated. He grudgingly moves them to a different table. My food arrives and I eat in peace, enjoying browsing Reddit. Well, anyone with manners should not be complaining with strangers about them using their phones. We have here the second story by you / the Fire Eagle. Entitled parent thinks they rented the whole park. I'm at a city park with my kids, and we've been to this park a bunch. There's this one spot where there's a rocky hill and all tree covered, nice and shady on a hot day. There's a playground and a pavilion at the top of the hill. We get up there and I immediately notice loud noises, and I'm having to step over the cables and extension cords. Someone rented the pavilion and set up not one, but 3 bounce houses around it, ducking great. So I have to give the disappointing news to my kids that even though they're surrounded by bounce houses, they cannot play in them since this is a private party. But they are free to go hit the playground. Everyone is cool. I sit on a bench as my kids go down on a fake pirate ship and I hear, "Hey!" That's when entitled dad, doing his best to imitate the situation from Jersey Shore, walks up to me and informs me that the playground is closed for a private party. I look at him and inform him that the public park does not close for quote-unquote private parties. And it sounds like he rented the pavilion nearby, which is fine, but doesn't give him exclusive use of the neighboring playground. He storms off and returns with a rental agreement and shoves it in my face, telling me to get my ducking kids and leave. Right, so rental agreement is very clearly for the pavilion. All for the grand sum of $35 for 4 hours. How could any sensible adult think that $35 granted you exclusive use of a public playground? Moreover, why it is so important for you to have exclusive use of a public playground? I, again, point out to him that he rented the pavilion, not the park, and my kids won't go on his bounce houses, and we won't go into his pavilion. But the playground is a fair game for everyone. He begins hurling threats, and I'm weighing just taking my kids and leaving to avoid this butthole. And then I decide I need to take a stand on principle. So I tell him to screw off and proceed to use my phone to find a number for the park office. Our county staff our parks. During the summer months, they employ park rangers who have peace officer authority. I call the park ranger and I tell him there is a trouble up at this shady playground and they need to come right away. Sure enough, as I'm getting off my phone, Dolph returns with 2 of his meathead friends to tell me that they are ejecting me from the park. No, you're not. And if you touch me, I'm calling the cops and pressing charges. No anger, no rage. With this promise of action, however, one of them kind of widens their eyes and stepped back saying to his friend, "Just leave them alone, man." This guy, for some reason, does not want the police coming, and it is very obvious. The ringleader won't back down, however, and tries his best to get in my face, scream, and yell. He grabs my arm and I remove his hand. All of this just as I see the rangers pulls up, yell for everyone to step back from one another, and come over. This smug ducker shoves a rental contract into the chest of the ranger, telling him that I'm trespassing, and he rented this space for today and for his kid's party. Now, I normally don't like posturing by law enforcement, but here it was pretty amusing. Ranger, touch me again and I'm arresting you. Reads contract. This is for renting the pavilion you have to use for the pavilion, but the playground is open for public use. Hands it back. Also, your permit doesn't allow you to set up bounce houses. Where did you plug these in? Rangers follows the extension cords and sees that they ran them into the nearby public bathrooms. There was an outdoor outlet. It was locked. This dude cut the lock off so it could plug in his crap. Ranger comes back with the broken lock. Did you cut this lock? It was like that when I found it. Really? Because it was intact this morning. So some random person cut this lock and you just happened upon it within the last 2 hours. I guess. Long story short, he let them stay and let them keep the bounce castle. Because he didn't want to ruin a kid's party, he wrote the guy for a citation for the broken lock and the unauthorized power use and banned him from the park for the remainder of the season. After the party. Amazingly though, this entire event was lost on my children who barely noticed anything was going on, likely because of the compressor noise. Well, at least one dude, regardless of the reason, had the sense to step back and try to de-escalate. Next up with her third story shared by u/Morosa3. My mom turned her guest room into a nursery after I told her she will never meet my child. I'm currently pregnant with my first child, and both my mom and my stepdad have been terrible to me and my partner the entire time. They told us we would be unfit parents because we aren't married yet, legitimately scream at my partner for knocking out their little girl even though we planned the pregnancy. They would call him every day and harass him and showing up to his work. Tried to convince him to leave me so I would have no choice but to move back in with them. It got worse as time went on. I finally decided to cut contact with him. Having a child can already be a stressful time, and having them around make it worse was not something I was okay with. My partner and I have gone through a lot with a family drama the past couple of years, and having this baby has been one of the most exciting things for us. If my parents can be nice to my partners, then they don't get to see our baby. Plus, they are the kind of people who don't wear masks in public and actively choose to be in large gatherings with no social distancing. So, seeing a newborn is out of the question. One day, I sent my mom a very detailed email of why she's not allowed to be a part of my life anymore and will not be seeing her grandchild. To make things even better, I also noted that we'll be moving across the country shortly after she is born to be closer to other family members. So not only she is cut off, but we're literally moving far away and never come back. She responds by showing up at our house at 11 p.m, screaming outside our door about how it is her baby, and she deserves to be there for it. I tell her to screw off, and eventually she leaves. Months go by, and she'll text me randomly asking about technical problems with her Wi-Fi router or something and needs help. Little things like that don't mean much to me, and I sent her the info she needed. My cousin also had a virtual baby shower and sent my invitation to my mom's house accidentally, so my mom came by to give it to me. Things slowly came to a point that we were fairly amicable with each other. But I still stood my ground about our boundaries and nothing else had changed. She knew this. Then she sends me a video today, and that blew my mind. She redecorated her entire guest room to be a nursery. Crib, changing table, $400 worth of newborn clothes, toy chair, stroller, a car seat for her car, and the list goes on. In the video, she is in tears saying that, "Oh my god, I can't believe my baby is going to be here soon. This is where she'll sleep and where I'll change her little diapers and there will be her toys." Is she psychotic? Her baby? Sleeping and living at her house? What? So I call her up immediately and I reiterate that we will still be moving across the country soon and that she'll have no contact with the baby before that. Her response? "Oh, okay, we'll see about that." Genuinely confused. What part of "you will have no contact with this baby" does she not understand? Or things will change in the next few weeks when she's born? Is she planning on stealing her from us? I'm at a loss for words. I think we're starting to take this more seriously and I'll be contacting a lawyer on Monday. I want to mention a couple of things to clarify as well. I've been seeing a psychotherapist the past few months strictly due to the relationship I have had with my mother throughout my life, and all of that is documented. My midwife and hospital is also very aware of the situation and the emotional stress I've been going through. So we will definitely be utilizing this in the case that she tries to sue us or call the CPS. Also, due to the virus, only my partner is allowed to be with me during the birth anyway. We'll be keeping things hush until after we move. We would have moved months ago if it was financially possible for us. We also spent a lot of money on my birth center here that is non-refundable. She is due in August and our lease ends in September. We already have everything set up to move and our family is helping us out, just a waiting game at this point. My partner is my power of attorney if something happens to me during the birth. We are currently in a state that is against my grandparents' rights. The only way she'll be able to sue for visitation is that if both myself and my partner were deceased. Even after we move, she still cannot file for GPS if she's living in this state. Well, yeah, OP better watch out. She might file for some kind of false police reports about you being unfit. Moving on to the fourth story shared by u/Arkansas. "You're my child. I have the right to poison you. I'm allergic to fish and seafood. It's not the anaphylactic type of allergy. Thank goodness. So I'm not going to die if I eat some, but I do throw up and have stomachache and a massive headache for a few hours. Enough fish or seafood and I break out in small red hives over my arms. My mother didn't believe it, and as a child, I couldn't stand up to her properly. She'd force me to eat stuff with seafood or fish in it to prove I wasn't allergic, then ignored me as I was sick. One day, she held a dinner party. I was dressed up beautifully and trotted out to the parade before the guests. At the time, I was around about 9, precocious for my age, and absolutely fed up with my mother making me sick. When she held out a fish cutlet, fish cooked with vegetables, rolled into a meatball, covered in batter and fried, for me to eat, I saw my chance. Me, loudly. "I can't eat that, I'm allergic to fish." My mother, "No, you're not, eat it." Me, "I'm allergic, I'll throw up." No Asian mother will back down in front of the guests for fear of looking like she can't discipline her child. My mother grabbed the fish cutlet, shoved it to my mouth, and said in her most firm voice of command, "Eat!" So I ate it. Cut to about 10 minutes later, I go up to my mother and tug on her sari to get attention. Me, "I don't feel well." Barf! I vomited on her on the expensive carpet and in full view of all the guests. My mother has a reputation for being a kind, generous, charitable, and very religious woman. So in front of all of the guests, she couldn't do anything except act sympathetic and send me off to bed to recover. She never made me eat fish or seafood again. Oh wow, this can be posted on r/malicious compliance too. OP played the game. On to the fifth story shared by u/Ates Rookie Kings. You can't just throw out a stranded pregnant mother and her toddler at 3 a.m. in the cold. Oh yes, I duck and can. Buckle up everyone for this bumpy ride. Okay, so I was chilling in my living room around 3 a.m. playing some video games. My parents are out of town visiting some friends and I decide to stay home, house to myself and all. So here I am in nothing but bra and panties when there's a knock on the door. WTF, I think to myself, so I scramble to get my clothes and I answer the door. It was a family acquaintance with her already whiny little brat. She's also visibly pregnant. And we'll get to why that part is important later. Me, hey, name, what's going on? Her, my car broke down and the tow company can't come get my car until tomorrow. Think me and my brat's name can crash here tonight? Me, sure, you guys can sleep in the living room. I let him in. Me, want anything to eat or drink? Her, coffee if it's not any trouble? Me, sure, no problem. So I go to make coffee when I see the little crap picking up my controller. Me, hey little guy, please put that down. Her, oh, can't he play a game? Me, no, I'm in the middle of something, plus he wouldn't know how to play, that type of game. Her, but he really wants to, don't you little crap? Little crap, I wanna play. Me, no you can't play. Little crap, I wanna play, I wanna play, I wanna play! And then he throws a ducking controller at the TV, shattering the screen. Me, what the duck? I rush over to the TV. Her, hey, don't you swear at my child. Me, you just ducking let him destroy my TV like this. Her, you're the one who didn't let him play the video games. Me, I said no, and you have to teach your brat that he isn't owned jackrap. Her, how dare you? Just wait until I tell your mother about how you treated him. You'll make a terrible mom. Me, I'm not having kids, but if I did, I wouldn't let them be spoiled little craps like brat. Her, you are being the brat right now. Just get a new TV and quit whining. Me, yeah, I'll get a new TV with the money you pay me for the broken TV. Her, what? But you are the one who instigated little crap. Me, you know you can just get the duck out of my house. You and your brat are no longer welcome in my house. Her, what the duck is wrong with you? I'm pregnant. I have a toddler and have nowhere to go. You just can't kick out a stranded pregnant mother and toddler at 3 a.m. in the cold. Me, oh yes I can, you insufferable tramp. Get the duck out of my house before I call the cops. Her, picking up her brat and heading towards the door. Just wait until I tell your mother about this. Me, yeah, I'll gladly tell her about the little crap did to the TV and that you refuse to pay for it. Her, you will regret this. She leaves. The next morning, I called my parents and explained what happened. They were very understanding because I was never raised to be a spoiled little crap stain. And the dirty tramp got an earful from my mom and that if she didn't pay back, we would take her to small claims. She tried to play the, oh, whoa, it's me, single pregnant mother, blah, 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 crap. But it didn't work. And she forks over the $500 for a new TV and we cut contact with her. For your information, in case anyone else was wondering, the reason the breeder and her crap stain were out at 3 a.m. was because a little crap demanded McDonald's and refused to go to bed unless he got it. This is just so disgusting. The mom doesn't even have her child under control. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.